Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Anna, I'm a personal trainer. My brand is Orthotics-are Health and Fitness, and I work out of Total Fitness in Wrexham, although not right now because we're in lockdown. But what I wanted to talk about today is, well, I had a bit of a tidy and I found these. So these are Orthotics insoles that I used to wear in my shoes, all of my shoes, all of the time, especially training shoes. So when I was about 7 years old, I was told I had flat feet and I was taken to a podiatrist who gave me some insoles that were quite a bit more built up than this actually. It had quite a significant arch support. And that was basically because I was experiencing pain in my feet, pain in my ankles, pain in my knees, because when your feet aren't in the right position, then everything else is out of whack, all the way up to hips. That puts strain on your back. If it's allowed to continue, like, it can cause issues all the way up the chain, because your feet are your base and your foundation, and if something's wrong there, everything else is out of whack as well. And the orthotics, to be fair, they worked. They put my feet where they were meant to be. I could do most things. I couldn't run super far, like if I wanted to run long distance. I'd experience pain in my arches, pain in my knees, any jumping exercises, obviously, because my feet were incredibly weak because they were held up by supports. So anything where the foot needs to absorb impact was a bit of a struggle, particularly if it's prolonged. I don't know, if I was doing a load of box jumps or something, after a while they would start to hurt. So a few years ago I was directed to a podcast by a guy called Knott. He's a very knowledgeable guy, especially when it comes to the realm of biomechanics, and this podcast was the biomechanics of the foot. And this is something I found really, really interesting and gave me a bit of a light bulb moment in terms of this potentially not being forever. Because God knows it makes it a lot harder to buy shoes. I remember growing up going to like 4 or 5 different shoe shops to try and find school shoes because nothing fit, or things couldn't fit the insole in, and then I've got quite narrow feet as well, so it had to have laces. So yeah, the trauma of finding shoes that fit might be a thing of the past. So he basically suggested that orthotics should be used as a temporary fix. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a podiatrist. This is purely all from my own experience with my feet and what worked for me. But yeah, so he was talking about how the arch support essentially is just holding up something that's weak, aka my foot. It was holding an artificial arch because my foot couldn't hold one on its own, which wasn't fixing the problem. It was just kind of putting a plaster on it temporarily to keep me ticking over. So it was, then they talked about various strengthening exercises, wearing different footwear, and things like that. So I started doing foot shortening exercises, bits and pieces to improve the dexterity of my feet and the strength of my arch. And I actually have arches now, which is a minor miracle. And what he also talked about was barefoot shoes, which is something initially I thought, oh, it's all those ones that have finger toe type spaces, they look a bit weird, or I don't know about that. But not all barefoot shoes have toes, thank God. Some of them, well, some people disagree with me, some of them pretty much just look like normal trainers. So these are what I've been wearing pretty solidly for about 2 years. So they've got a wide toe, so these are some of my old trainers. So you can see here the toe tapers, whereas here it spreads, so it's got a really wide toe box so your feet can spread out, absorb impact, do what they need to do. Here you can see there's an awful lot of cushioning on this, which when you're running actually encourages you to kind of heel drive. A lot of people run on their heel and roll through, whereas with these that's almost impossible to do. and it encourages you to run either forward on your toes or run flat, which is actually how feet are meant to work. Your foot is this kind of shock absorber. The arch is designed to absorb impact. Your toes are designed to spread and help you push off. Like if we run as we're designed to run, we weren't born with shoes on. So running as we are designed to, it actually should help with injuries and things like that in the long term, in terms of like shin splints and things like that. Running in minimalist footwear has been shown to really help with things like that. Yeah, I put these on the other day to do some decorating and it felt awful. They felt incredibly restrictive, very, very stiff, like they're not very flexible at all, whereas these let your foot move exactly the way it wants to. So I've probably got at least 7 pairs of various barefoot shoes. These are Vivo Barefoots, but there's loads of other brands out there that have them. And I personally won't be going back to normal shoes anytime soon. But in the description, I'll be putting the link to the Knott podcast if you want to get really geeky and get into the nitty-gritty biomechanics of your feet. And I'll also be putting some videos I've done of different exercises to help strengthen your arches and improve your feet dexterity to hopefully keep your feet strong and keep your knees, ankles, etc. injury free for as long as possible. Thanks for bearing with me while I ramble about feet. If you've got any questions at all or any comments, please just drop me a message. And thanks for listening. And again, not a podiatrist, not an expert in feet. This is just about my feet and my foot journey, if you will. So I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Stay safe. Bye.